All right, give me a second. Let me figure out why my mic is not connected. Give me a second here. How's everyone tonight? I'm gonna check with my mic. What's going on, everyone? Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday. And sorry about the delay, but there was a fire alarm that went off here in my building, so that's what caused us to be delayed. Now, and we are in day 20th of the shutdown. I'm here live in Washington, D.C., and we're going to talk about what am I seeing here on the ground. And I will tell you this, it's getting real. Actually, one of my buddies got furloughed. They had some additional monies, but now they're gone. So there is some pain. I was actually at an event last night, and people are starting to feel the crunch here. But like a lot of things in life, you've got those folks that are feeling the crunch, and then you got the other folks that are effectively continuing business as usual. So I want to talk about, some of the winners, some of the losers, and also what I would be doing if I were in your shoes. Additionally, some opportunities I think that exist for all of us during this time, because again, at the end of the day, we all know that the government's going to come back and they're going to start spending money. So let's talk about basically, essentially what I'm seeing out here. And then also I'd like to effectively, I'm going to, for a lot of you out here that may be new to the channel, or some of you have maybe know the channel from previously, some of the things that I've done in the past is we did some working sessions with people. So I'm going to bring that back. We're going to do some actual live working sessions here on the channel. So if you're not already subscribed and you don't hit the button to get tuned in to when these things are happening, I encourage you to do that today, because we're going to start. I would like to go back to bringing people up here and working with them, helping them go through opportunities, helping them be prepared, government ready, helping them basically be able to present themselves, talk the talk, walk the walk, so that when the government does reopen, you are in a position to start winning again. Because at the end of the day, we know that they're going to reopen, right? So right now, currently, this is the 10th shutdown, but it's now the second longest shutdown. So we are, again, in day 20. The longest shutdown was back in 2018, 2019, with the same administration. And so a lot of times what's happened, again, people are, fighting over spending. And the One Big Beautiful Bill Act was passed, but now how they're going to fund it, we haven't figured that out yet. And so they're at an impasse, and they're out from office. So people here are saying that they anticipate this may go longer. This may end up being the longest shutdown in history, which for us, a lot of us who are not currently federal contractors, who are not currently supporting Department of Defense, that we lose when that happens. For those persons, the winners of this incident are those companies that are currently already have contracts, that are already have certifications, that are already in the system right now, and those that are working with DoD. So if you're currently have contracts with Department of Defense, it makes it a lot easier to continue doing business with you now, because you're already in the system, you're already certified, you're already a vendor. And again, the DoD still has a continuing resolution to keep spending and keep the money going. So those are the winners. And the losers are basically the people that are not currently on contracts, that don't currently have vehicles, that are not currently in the system, and that are supporting basically the federal civilian agencies or the non-Department of Defense agencies, right? Like Commerce and Treasury and some of those other Department of Education, Parks, any of those groups that don't currently support the Department of War. Well, it used to be Department of Defense, now called the Department of War. So those, again, winners are people that have certifications, that are currently certified, people that are already supporting the DoD on existing contracts. The losers are the rest of us who are trying to break into the market. So unfortunately, if you are trying to break in right now, it's a very difficult time to break in. However, if you are currently certified and you have worked in the past with the Department of Defense, you should really be leveraging that as an advantage, because they can't go out and recruit new people in this condition. So that's what I'm seeing. And I say that because literally, we currently support one of the Department of War's agencies, and particularly one of their offices. And so we continue to see an increase in work. And what that means is they don't have the ability now to go and source new contractors, source new vendors. And I don't know how many people know this, but last year around this time, the SBA approved like 500 plus 80 applications. This year, they've approved about 60 or so applications. So we're talking about a tenth of what they did last year during this time. So again, for new people trying to get in, it's a lot more difficult. For if you're established and you have your certs and you already have supported DoD in some capacity, this is a great time for you to basically turn up the knob. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't, if you currently are already registered and you're in the system, that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities that exist. It just means they're far few and in between. And like I said, a week ago, people were not panicking as much. But today, I can tell you here, a lot more people are panicking and they're really taking it serious. So let me just kind of share my screen over here. So last night I was at this event put on by RockGov IT. If you're on LinkedIn, you'll see it. Daryl Peaks, he works for a company called Elasticity. They do about $1 billion or so. He puts on these different events for the GovCon sector. So you'll see here the event that we were at. But yesterday's event was specifically on how people can get jobs. And so they had recruiters out there, they had people out there to help folks to identify opportunities for jobs. And so this particular session was not about getting contracts, but about people that were looking for talent and that were looking for folks that had been took the RIF or who basically left government or who's been lost their jobs. This was an unusual event because it was literally geared towards people that needed jobs and that were struggling. And I was with a lady yesterday, and we were just kind of at the cocktail table. And first, she told me she was a consultant, and then she came back and said, "I really need a job." She says, "I'm having a hard time finding a job." So I will say the tone has changed from last week to this week, and I'm seeing a lot more desperation. But in the midst of chaos creates opportunities. And that's why I came here, because a few years ago, top talent was really hard to find. Okay, people, essentially the people who had these, like the software engineers and the IT guys, they had the advantage and they could call the shots. Now we're seeing the opposite is happening, and companies who have contracts and opportunities can get some of the best talent out there for I wouldn't say for very cheap. Let's not say that. But essentially they're not competing anymore for this talent. The people essentially need jobs. I think, again, it's just a shift in the power dynamics, right? Sometimes, and like even in real estate, I own properties. Before it was a seller's market. Now it's a buyer's market. So markets change, markets shift. And if you've been in business long enough, if you've been around long enough, you see this happening all the time. This is not anything new. It's cyclical, right? But for people that I know that are in the business, that are doing well, they're getting some of the best talent that they've ever been able to get at affordable prices. And they're able to help the government solve some of their needs because the government still needs people to go in and solve these issues. Right now, how does that help you guys, right? Listening to this, how does it help everybody that's listening to this saying, Eric, okay, cool. I'm not in a position. I'm just getting started. Like I'm the new guy. So let's talk about a couple of things that I've learned even recently at this event. So a couple of things. Someone mentioned to me yesterday, I was with this company. I'm looking through my business cards, and the guy said to me, that what's happening nowadays is the government contracting decision makers are now using LinkedIn to make a decision about your company's capabilities. I'm going to say this again. They are using LinkedIn to make decisions about your company's capabilities. And so what happens is and I've done this exercise before. I brought people up here. I've asked them, oh, you know what? I didn't realize this thing was red. Oh man, I don't like red. I didn't realize it. Okay. Well, I guess I can't change it now. I'll just keep going. But the government is now using that to determine if you are capable, or if what you're saying in your proposal matches up to your actual business profile on LinkedIn. What does that tell all of us? That means that's a good thing. To me, I think it's a great thing because, and I've been saying this for years, you can technically, LinkedIn is not audited. It's not like fact checked. It's kind of like Wikipedia. You can create whatever page you want and say whatever you want. People still have not got hip to that. And so we're still treating it like as though this is a social platform like Instagram or Facebook, where you just share information about friends and family, or you just go on there to consume information. This could be your secret weapon. If you are just starting out and you have no capabilities, you have nothing, you can form an amazing LinkedIn profile, right? You can really create the brand, the image, the messaging that you want. I've been saying this for years. I'm going to keep yelling it. I think people spend more money on LinkedIn than they should on their websites. No one cares about people's websites. And I'll give you guys an example. I'm going to bring this example back up again. My son, and I'll share you his profile. This is my son, Brandon, and this is his profile. And we built this profile for him. And if they were to come look at us, it says head of strategic partnerships at Coleman with a special focus on nuclear environmental remediation and decommissioning. All right. He's connected to Josh Frank and some of the other heavyweights. So they're showing he's connected in the industry. All right. And he started making content, sodium cooled fast reactors, the role of fast reactors in sustainable energy. Right. So he started making content that aligned with what his brand was and what he was trying to do. So how many of us right now, instead of complaining or crying about the shutdown and what we can't do, how about we focus on what we can do? And this is one area that the people that are watching this, there's going to be 500 to 1,000 people that end up watching this video. If I were to do an audit sounds a little rough. If I were to do a review of your LinkedIn profiles, how many people's profiles would match their capability statement, would match what their proposal is for? Like, how many people's profiles would actually match up to what they're writing and submitting to the government? Okay. In fact, if you're in the chat, if your profile on LinkedIn matches what you're submitting your proposals for in the government, put a 1 on the chat. If your profile would not match, put a 2 in the chat. Just as a survey for everyone to see if your profile on LinkedIn matches the proposals that you're submitting, or if it matches the opportunities that you want to pursue, put a 1 in the chat. If it does not match, right? If I were to go on and say, you put in a proposal for this, I'm going to look at your LinkedIn profile, right? Do the 2 match up? Okay. Look, this is a safe space. If you can't be honest with yourself here, you can't be honest with yourself anywhere. You, the only person. I listened to Steve Jobs' quote, and he said, you are going to defeat yourself before the competitor defeats you. You are going to defeat yourself before your competitor defeats you. What does that mean? We're so worried about the competition. We are already eliminating ourselves. The competition don't have to do nothing to us. The government might want us, they might like us, but then when they go on and they look at your profile and look at your company, they're going to say, well, that's not, I don't see that information. It doesn't match up. And I'm telling you this, and Gloria put 1 and 2. That is you know what, Gloria? That is not, you can't have it both ways. This is definitive. Will the government say your stuff matches up? It's either a yes or no. They're not going to say kind of. They're going to say yes or no. And that is because that's the truth. Because again, even me, right? Because we're going to talk about what opportunities exist. Even right now, one of the areas that I want to touch on, because I've been talking to these different people, is there are large firms that still have needs that they're asking us to help find small companies. I'm going to give you an example. Someone today dropped this for me, and I'll drop this in the chat. Virgin Islands is saying they're still looking for contractors. They're saying that there's still a need for contractors, and they're having an industry day event for people that want to do work in the Virgin Islands. So this is an opportunity that someone literally sent to me this like today, and someone that just came back from there meeting with government and saying they're trying to desperately find contractors in the Virgin Islands. I'm going to drop this in the chat for anybody that wants to attend. Here's another event that I'm going to drop in the chat as well. Tomorrow, this Federal Innovation Summit coming up. Again, here I'm going to drop this in the chat as well for you guys. So if anybody wants to attend that, okay. But going back to what I was saying, right? There are opportunities out here to work with companies, but I can tell you that people are looking at you and you're not matching up. And so they're not going to give you the opportunities that you probably are qualified to do. You probably have the capabilities, but just because your marketing is bad on the outside, they're not going to consider you. It's just real talk. I'm telling you this. I had someone tell me the other day that because of their presence on LinkedIn, and by the way, it's not for likes. So we're not talking about making content for likes. This is not you trying to be Instagram famous or LinkedIn famous. This is so that the customers and the partners and the people that you want to work with know you exist. This is why I can come here to Virginia, to DC, and I'm in the rooms with the top people, okay? And they all know me. And we've had engagements, we've had conversations. Last night I was at the event, this middle market company, the guy does about $75 million a year. He came up to me and was like, hey, Eric, I was trying to get to your Miami event. I couldn't make it. But I love the content you're putting on LinkedIn. It's useful, it's practical information. And I'm surprised that you're even giving that kind of information out for free, publicly available to businesses. But many of you are not even acting on the things that we say, the information that we're giving you. And speaking of that, let me just bring this point up too, because I've had several people that were on my live webinar, right? And they were asking about this book and they're saying, Eric, you promised to give us for free. We've been emailing people and telling them how to get the book for free. And so if you didn't check your emails, right, then I can't help you. And so we put it inside a Federal Help Center. And I checked it literally today. It's in there in Federal Help Center. So if you're on a live webinar and you didn't get your workbook, it's inside Federal Help Center. All right. The information is there. Why is that important? Because there's things that we could be doing right now. The first thing that we could be doing right now is building our war chest. All right. How many people on here, when we look at we said that, hey, I want to be a government contractor. By the way, I've got some more events I'm going to share with you guys throughout as well that I think would be very helpful. So how many people out here, right? We're talking about building our war chest, knows your customers, knows who they are, where do they spend, what are their budgets, what are their needs, their forecast at work, and the events they're attending. How many people know essentially all of that information about their customer? No, I do not use automation on my LinkedIn. How many people know everything about their customer? How many people even know who their customer is? All of this information you could be building up right now in preparation for when this thing hits. You could be building up right now in preparation for this thing hits. And that's what we talked about. And in fact, shameless plug. All right. Do I have it on here? I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to help everybody out today. For the people that are watching this, I'm going to help you guys out. I'm going to give you a little insight real quick on how I can help you guys do that. And then I'm going to plug. Hold on. Where did it go? I'm going to plug two things. All right. So I'm going to give you guys. Oh, so by the way, only one person on here said that they know their customer, who their customer is, where they buy, where they sell, their budgets, where they're going to be at, their industries and events. I just shared with you guys 2 events here that I have online. I've got 3 more events I'm going to drop in the chat as well. And so if you don't know that information, now is a good time to dig and start getting that information and knowing where your customer is at. Do you realize that when the government is open, right, we say, okay, Eric, because I'm telling you this, I tell people, talk to the customers, talk to the government, talk to agencies, talk to the offices, talk to program managers, right? There's 6 people that you want to talk to, right? And we go over that, of those 6 people that you should be talking to. Most of the time, though, like, for example, I'll say contracting officers. Let's just pick contracting officers. With contracting officers, you can't talk to them because they're putting out proposals constantly, right? Well, if you already knew folks that were in contracting or programs, they are out of office right now, furloughed. You can talk to them, right? Anyone ever thought about that? You can talk to them because they're not at work, right? And so they don't have any existing projects out. And so now would probably be a really good time to talk to folks that you could not have spoken to before. I've had several meetings with government people since I've been up here. You can talk to them now. They're not at work anymore. We only look at the downside. We're only looking at the negative side. And so literally at our upcoming mastermind that we're having November 15th and 16th, I'm going to be bringing government people and ex-government people to a live mastermind event here in DC. I'm also going to be bringing commercial companies. I'm going to be bringing decision makers inside. This is not a training. This is access. So if you're interested, I'll put our information down there, but I'll drop it in here. So we're doing that November 15th and 16th here in DC on our live event, mastermind. We're going to be bringing in, I've already got 3 commitments from people, and I want to line up about 6 speakers that have authorities to show you where the money's at, or put you on contract, or connect you with the person who put you on contract. So this is not for everybody. This is only for people that are ready to go. This is not for everybody. This is for people that are ready to go, that have capabilities, that have capacity, and they're like, look, I just need an opportunity. I know how to talk. I know what my space is. I just need to be in front of somebody that has power to be able to connect me with someone that could give me contracts. Cool. Now, for everybody else, we are doing our 6-week boot camp, starting November the 7th. And that on this page, you can find the information about the boot camp as well, where we're going to be teaching you how to do all of these things. All right. So I'm going to drop that in here, that link. And again, feel free to ask questions as we progress through this conversation tonight. But I did want to drop that information for you guys right away. Now, let me just kind of I'm going to give you some game because people are here watching. I appreciate you. Happy hump day. Now, but I need you to be truthful, right? Because I'm not going to give you this information if y'all not truthful. How many people know who their customer is? If you know who your customer is, matter of fact, no, I'm the opposite. Tavin, I know you know what you're doing. Alan White, all of you guys have been my previous students. I look forward to seeing you guys in upcoming boot camp, Alan and Tavin and stuff like that. We're going to go for some new stuff that we haven't talked about before, building out your war chest, particularly with certifications. So that's what we're going to go over. But for all of the newbies out here that are new to our channel, new to our content, who've never been at any of our boot camps, how many people do not know who their customer is? How many people do not know who their customer is? In fact, how many people do not know? Do not know. If you do not know who your customer is, your government customer, I'm trying to think, which we put in the chat. Put a thumbs down in the chat. You guys know what thumbs down is? Or a sad face. If you do not know who your government customer is, if you do not know who you should be calling on, who you should be meeting with, put a thumbs down or a sad face in the chat because you do not know who your government customer is. If I get more than 10 of those, I'm going to show you how to find it. I'm going to give you something. If I get 10 or so people that honestly admit they don't know who the government customer is, I'm going to drop something in for you guys because this is something I was going to teach in our upcoming boot camp that I will share with everybody free here live on YouTube. And I just discovered this literally a week ago. You know, if you do not know who your customer is, you do not know, like Eric, I don't know who buys my stuff. I've done FPDS, I've done USA Spinning. I'm still confused. Mona says middleman. Cool. All right. So I only have one person. All right. So I'll keep rolling. So whenever everybody else speaks up and they know the truth, that means 30 people on this call are smart people. They know what they're doing. So then the question is, if you know who your customer, you know what they're buying, you know where they're at, right? How many people you should be in front of your customers? I personally got a phone call today from a government customer that is going to sole source another contract to us. If you're not getting those phone calls, you're doing something majorly wrong. I got a call today. Preston White put construction. Construction. Who's your customer, Preston? Who buys construction? What's your customer's name? Right? Where they at? What's their address that their office is out of that gets you the contracts? I was with a young lady last night. She sells here to the FBI and some other agencies. However, they're based in Huntsville, Alabama. But she sells here. But they're in Huntsville. So, okay, I got two people that said they don't know the customer. Thumbs down or a sad face. Look, I'm okay with it. If you don't want to grow, you don't want to learn, you don't want to expand, then I'm okay with it. But that's what our channel is about. That's what we do here, right? That's what we do is we're here to help people grow and expand. And everyone keeps telling me to continue doing the good work. So I'm going to keep doing the good work. All right. Right. That's what you need help with. Okay. So I got 3 people that said they don't know where the customer is. Cool. Because what I'd like for us to do is once we understand that customer, right, to create the persona so that we can now target that customer on LinkedIn. Jojo wrote the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard is huge, Jojo. I mean, Coast Guard is huge. I personally work with the Coast Guard. I don't think you work with the same Coast Guard that I work with. So, for example, Jojo, like we're working right now on what's called an RMAC for the Coast Guard. And so we are only working the RMAC for our particular region. So again, I'll give you an example for those out here. So I got 4 people that said they need help with that. Anybody else needs help with that? No? All right. No problem. So the reason why do I bring this up? My buddy the other day, he said to me that he didn't understand the power as well, and that now that LinkedIn should be part of everybody's capture strategy, bidding strategy, should be part of your marketing strategy to get customers. And again, not to be an influencer, to put out. So Jojo, congratulations on winning 2 contracts. But I'm going to say again, the Coast Guard, I'll just share the Coast Guard. And since she's still just engaging, I'm going to engage back with her, and I'll show you guys what I mean. All right. I'll show you guys what I mean here, because we too work with the Coast Guard, but the Coast Guard has several different groups within the Coast Guard. And so they have different ways that they buy, but they also have different locations that they do business with. And so depending upon which one of the operations you support is which one of the Coast Guards that you support. So I'm going to show you guys just kind of an example. We'll use JoJo. So here, so the Coast Guard has 6 procurement centers, right? So this is the level. They got the contract and operations, the aviation centers. They got the surface forces center. They got the operational logistics center. They got the shore infrastructure logistics center, construction. So I say that because this is what I want us to know to that level of detail. That's super important, because if someone tells me, hey, Eric, I work with the Coast Guard, I don't know how to connect you with someone who may be in my sphere of influence, because I'm not sure what part of the Coast Guard you work for. If you said, I work for Surface Force Logistics Center, I work for the Aviation Logistics Center of the Coast Guard, I work for the Contract and Operations Center of the Coast Guard, then I go, oh, okay, I know someone there. Remember the other night, I was talking about an example of someone that I met recently that worked in Rhode Island at this Newport Naval Base. And because, again, I know my customer profile, I said, hey, I work for this customer. And we were literally at the same base, right? And we both work for the Navy, but they work for Naval War, and I work for NAVFAC Mid-Atlantic. And so the Naval War College funding comes from a different bucket than the NAVFAC funding. And so knowing that distinction told this person enough information to where we can discuss contract opportunities. So I encourage all of us to be able to know that. Now, I'm going to ask the same question again. How many people know their customers, the customer profile, where they're spending, even where they're having events, where they take a dump? How much, you're supposed to know everything about these people. How do you learn it? Okay. So Mona. All right. So again, all right. So we got 1 sad face. I got 2 sad faces. Thumbs down. I'm just looking for 10. All I'm looking for is 10. The whole goal, right, is, like I've said before, as I get older, I realize the more I don't know. As we continue to realize and learn more, it's like, hey, I don't know what I don't know, but I want to help you guys. So I'm gonna give you a gem. Now, this just came out. All right, G, maybe thank you. All right, this just came out. All right, so I got G major, I got JJ, that's 2. All right, who else I got? I got G Major hit it twice. That don't count. I got Charles. I got 3. So I only got 3 people that said they don't know out of 35 people watching. 3 people said they don't know. I need 10. I need 10 people that say they don't know. I need 10 people. So the other 30 people watching knows. So everybody else knows with a customer. Danette said, I don't know. Okay, that's 4 people. So everybody else, 32 people watching this, everybody knows who their customer is. You know, where they're at, you know, how they spend, you know, everything about the customer. All right, Jerome says he doesn't know. Okay, that's 5 people. Okay, who else? 6. Okay, I'm looking for 4 more people to be honest with themselves and say they don't know. Okay, Gloria says, who would be my customer? I don't know. Right, Gloria. This is the whole point of the exercise. This is why we're here today, because what my goal is this, all right, is that the goal is what we should be doing in the midst of the shutdown. I'm not here to talk politics. I'm here to prepare you for success. So I'm here to make sure that when this thing ends, when it's all over with, we're going to be successful together. All right. So I know Mona said, all right, so I got 6 people, 14 more. Let's see. All right. G major, Milwaukee, Preston. I'm going to just throw Gloria in there. FA, Jerome. All right, cool. All right. So now, all right. So we like, this is like, look, I'm telling you, we got to make progress. We got to admit where we're short. All right, cool. That's 7. That's only 7 of it. I thought that was 10. Dang. Okay. That's only 7. I count 10. All right. So check this out. I just learned about this recently. I literally just learned about this, and I did put it in the workbook here. But most people didn't read the workbook because, you know, people don't like to read, which is fine. I don't really care. All right. So now I'm looking for a volunteer. We're going to actually do an exercise with you guys today. I'm going to help somebody on here find their customer profile. I want to do it live on here. Okay. I particularly want somebody that has a certification. So someone that said they don't know the customer and that has a certification. Gloria, do you have a certification? Women owned, Hub Zone 8A. Anybody has a certification? I want to help somebody that has a certification because, again, the theme leading up to our boot camp is scaling with certifications. So I want to help somebody that has a certification. By the way, anybody who's been in any of my trade, Charles, you should know your customers. Okay. Anybody's been in my trainings and went through the roadmap should know this. All right. Who's got a certification that I can help today? I help identify their customers live on YouTube today. Okay. Gloria's got women. Perfect. Gloria. Good stuff. All right. So you have women, like women owned small business, WSB, Gloria? Yes. We're talking about federal certifications. We're talking, so again, WSB, and put it up. All right. 8A, Hub Zone. Anybody with any federal certifications on the call today? I know I didn't tag in my LinkedIn folks. Any federal certifications? Anybody on the call that has a federal certification that needs help? Yes, no. Jojo, what do you have? Jojo, you don't have any federal certs? Just local? Okay. All right. That's okay, Jojo. Anybody have any federal certs? I just want to use an actual example of someone that has federal certs that I can help today on the call live. Anybody have any federal certs? All right. Gloria, you're woman owned. All right. Jojo, you are a woman, obviously. So tell me, drop in here. Jojo, I'm going to do Jojo, Gloria. Tell me what's your primary NAICS codes. Give me some NAICS codes that I can work with on this call today. Primary codes. Let me pull up an example. And I'm going to drop in here the chat, the link. Okay, JJ's SDVOSB. Okay. I need a NAICS code from somebody who needs help. I want people to walk away with something that we can actually do as practical. No. So Jojo, so you gave me your certs. I'm looking for the code that determines the services that you're providing to the federal government. So your North American industry classification codes. So I'm looking for the services that you do and the codes that correspond to the services. JJ. Okay, so JJ is 238220 and your SDVOSB. All right, well, JJ, I'll pick you. So let's do it. So I just dropped in the chat this website that I found the other day. Okay. It's called GovCon Match. And it says it returns federal agencies that are most likely to contract with a business like yours. Anybody can use that? Can anyone use that? Anyone can use that? Can anyone use that in here? Watching today? Agencies that are likely to contract with your business. Does that sound like something we need? Okay. Anybody can use that. So let's do it. Okay. Make sure you guys. Absolutely. All right. So let's go with my man, JJ, 238220. So we're going to choose an option. We're going to say, JJ, I'm just going to say you're a limited liability corp, JJ. And see, they don't have it. They have DOT, but they don't have, I'm going to put small disadvantage because they didn't have on here. And then I'm going to go with your code, JJ 238220. I think that's what you said. Yeah. Okay. What's your zip code, JJ? I need a zip code for you, brother. JJ, what's your zip code? I got to put in a zip code. And then I put in, you provide goods or services. Oh, here's your veteran status. I'm going to put service disabled. Boom. Got you in there. Okay. I need a zip code for you. And I need to know if you do goods or services. Okay. By the way, for everybody joining us, we are here at this site, govcon.sba.gov. It's called GovCon Match. And it returns the federal agencies that are most likely to contract with a business like yours. 27601, bet. Let's do it. Okay. So let's see. 27601. Goods or services, JJ? Services, my man. Okay. Hit submit. JJ, look at that. Boom. Look at JJ. Now, next time somebody say, JJ, who buys what you sell, you can say USDA Office of Chief Financial Officer for services, right? U.S. Citizen Immigration Services, right? And then it gets into the bids per contract. Look, one. Look, so this is the 5th percentile, the average, and 95th percentile, 138. So now you can literally, now you can start making some decisions. You know, this is why you come here. And this is why I encourage people. That's why you should join our boot camps and learn, because this is what we do for people. Now, this is like, this information, it's what it is the information exists. You guys just don't know where to get the information from. You don't know who to ask. You don't know who to talk to. You don't know what to say. And this is why I continue to keep doing this, because as I have interviewed 300 businesses. You don't think that did something to my brain? There's no, I don't know any other person online that has interviewed 300 businesses, specifically in government contracting procurement, right? I mean, what do you think it did to my brain? So when I meet with someone who's doing 75 million and he says that I helped him rethink his business, when I'm meeting with someone who does 200 million, 150 million, and I help them, surely I can help you guys. Doesn't that make sense? If I'm helping them, I can help you because I am you. I started like you. I started with bad credit. I started in the hole twice. I was in more debt than probably all of you guys combined. And I still was able to start getting contracts, getting opportunities because I had information. So this game now is changed. It's flipped itself on the head. And I'm telling you this, I'm preaching this to people because if you really have like basically more time than money, all of these things that I'm teaching you are ways that you can get advantages over people that have more money than time. This is what I leverage. I didn't have all the money, but I had a lot more time. So you got to have one. You got to have time or money. You got to have one. We can help both. That's why I said we got things for people with money, right? We got consulting packages, BD packages. We'll help you stand up your LinkedIn. We'll help you create content for your LinkedIn so that the government calls you. We got that. And then we got boot camps to train people who have more time. And then here on YouTube, I've got thousands of videos. But again, it's just not necessarily as effective or efficient because it's a lot of content to consume, and I get it. And also the information is changing. So, you know, we got to keep adapting. So some of my older content, the information doesn't apply today. And that's why like this site that I just pulled up, like this makes a lot of sense for people. Somebody said, do it again. Now, the thing is, I just gave my man JJ, like JJ, he didn't even know these people. He didn't know Federal Acquisition Services. I'm sure he didn't know Defense Health Agency, none of that stuff. He didn't even know none of this stuff. Most of us will say Department of Defense, Department of, nobody even says energy, which energy is the second largest department behind Department of War. But most people don't even say energy. They say Department of Defense. So Gloria, I'm going to do you. Gloria, I need your zip code. And I need to know if you do services or if you do products. I'm gonna do Gloria. Okay. I'm gonna do Gloria. So JJ, it's funny you said you only bid DOD and VA, right? That's interesting because personally, I mean, some of these other places probably have a higher probability of actually winning. So bidding is one thing. I'm here to teach you how to win. Anybody can bid. Everyone can't win. Look at this. Have you even heard of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency? You probably even never heard of them. Neither has a lot of people. That's probably why people don't know about it. If I were you, JJ, look at this group right here. United States Trade and Development Agency. They get the average number of responses, 113. That's to me where I would focus my time if I wanted to do less bidding and more winning. This is me though. But because we don't have access to this whole Rolodex of information, we don't have access to all the people, all of the nuggets, we only do what we know, which is nothing wrong with that. That's kind of everybody. I mean, hell, that's me too. I only do what I know. You can't do more than you know. So, all right, now I'm happy to do it again. Gloria, give me a zip code and tell me what you do. And I'll put it back on the screen. Hey, JJ said, I'm on it right now. Thank you. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, right? So, I mean, I want you to do that. So that's the first thing that, again, I'm sharing with you guys this information so that you guys can all do those things. Okay. And it's in here. I'm going through right now. So JJ, veteran owned business, right? My man, service disabled veteran owned company. All right. So JJ, where you at? 90-day action plan. Okay. So now you're on the site. All right. I'll drop the link back in here for everybody who missed the link. You drop it back in here for everybody. Okay. By the way, let me go ahead and just real quick. So again, just real quick, if anybody has any questions about any of the upcoming trainings or things that we're doing, our live mastermind here in DC for 2 days, just email us, call us, text us. We'll get you the information over to you, and we'll be able to answer any questions. If you're not already in Federal Help Center, that's another great way to reach us is you can message us in Federal Help Center as well. So that's our information on the screen for everybody who needs it. Yeah, we just dropped it in the chat again for everybody. So now, where's who else? I'm gonna do one other person while we're on this call today. Cheat code, baby. Cheat code today. All right. The dates for the mastermind, November 15th and November 16th are the mastermind. Now, I will say this, the mastermind, there's only 2 ways that you can get it. You have to already be a lifetime member with us or we're taking new members that essentially come in and do a BD package. So there's 2 ways to get to the mastermind. If you're a lifetime member, then there's a reduced price to go to mastermind here. The mastermind, we're only taking 25 people. So it's limited because it's not supposed to be a big thing. It's to be an intimate event so that we can make sure that people get the most out of it and that they get a chance to spend time with some of the leadership and folks that are in the room. And also so that we can actually help them leave there with real stuff that when we come out of this whole craziness, then they could go to work. Right. So that's my whole objective is leaving there with people, connections, and actionable things that you can actually work on. And so that when we come out of this whole thing, we're talking about contracts. So, all right. So that's how you do it. The mastermind. And then again, like I said, if you invest in a BD package, which by the way, the BD packages are essentially us helping do a lot of this stuff, right? Getting you essentially prepared to to make government ready for essentially the agencies. This is one exercise, but we put together an entire list with contacts, names, numbers, emails, everything, so that, now all that what I asked you is who, what, when, where, how, they're buying, where they're buying, what they're spending it on, you know exactly what to talk to in terms of people. And so that's why we want only lifetime members at the mastermind, but anyone could join the boot camp. So anyone could join the boot camp, and the boot camp literally is only $9.97 to join. So anyone could join our 6-week boot camp that starts November 7th. Anyone could join that. So that's open, but the mastermind, because it's exclusive, we got to make sure that you're actually ready to talk to people, because you're going to be in a room and it's going to be like, high level people there. So we don't want just people showing up. All right. So let me just do Gloria's real quick, and then we'll keep talking today. So let's see. Gloria, we're going to pull you up. All right. So Gloria is, let's see, woman owned. She is 5'4", 1930. All right. So let's see, Gloria, woman owned. You are 5419330. 5419330. Wait, 930. I was like, there's too many numbers. Zip code 21221. 21221. You're not a veteran, so we're gonna choose. Nope, no status. Gloria, you're selling product or services? Yep. Okay, services. Cool. All right, let's hit submit. All right, Gloria. So there's your list. Department of Interior comes on the list. NOAA comes on the list, right? Technology Transfer Service comes on the list, right? Fish and Wildlife and Institute of Health, Department of State, Navy. But again, now when you click into it, it gets into the more granular stuff. I'm just showing surface level so that everyone knows, like, kind of, how to do the exercise. So this is a great starting point, because a lot of us, we don't even know many of these agencies even exist. Let me ask you this. Has anyone learned today something new already today? Anyone learn anything new today on this chat? Like, anybody learn anything new? Did anybody see any agencies that you've never heard of before? Like, you're like, wait, what? These people? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's why we're here to educate, empower, encourage, support, to be that beacon of light and hope, so that people are like, okay, cool. Now I'm not chasing the same stuff everybody else is chasing. Right now you have a probability. Now you have a starting point. Now there is like, okay, I kind of can see a pathway. Right. So this is the start. This is the start. Now imagine, Gloria, we were to take this. Okay. Oh, what happened? Oh, I think I took off the stop share. Hold on one second. Now let's talk. Let's go a little bit higher level. But also, this is what I say. Like, these are the things that you should be doing right now while the government shut down, so that when it comes back around, you're like ready to go. This is stuff you're supposed to be doing now, so you're ready to go. Now, Gloria, if I'm you, and I don't even know what that next code is. Let me see what that next code is. Okay. Gloria, translation services. Okay. All right. So now, like, if I was Gloria, now, Gloria, I don't know this. Did you put a 1 or a 2 for your LinkedIn profile? Does your LinkedIn profile match your services? I don't know. But either way, if I were you, what I would do right now is make sure that I fix this profile right now. And if I were you, Gloria, I would go in, I would fix my profile. I would make sure to say that, my company focuses on translation services. I would make sure that I have some posts about translation services. I make sure that I'd have that in there for people to see. I would make sure that I knew, like we said before, okay, let's go back to, where was it at? Okay, so NOAA, right? I would make sure that NOAA people, that they knew that I did translation services. So when I go to NOAA site and I see how NOAA maybe utilizes translation services, I would make content or a post related to translation services, specifically for like NOAA. So I would make a post that was related to doing translation services for this particular agency. Okay, so let's see. Let's go in. Nah, Jojo, that's good. No, we're going a step further, Jojo. We ain't talking about following them. No. We're talking about making content specifically that talks to them. We want them to come to us, not the other way around. Follow them is cute. Strategically, we want to make content that gets them to us. This is why people know me. Remember, people come to me. I'm not going to them. We want to make them come to us. So now, by the way, look at this. NOAA recognizes continually seek and maintain environment for optimization. Hubs on women, service-able, women-owned businesses, Gloria. Okay. They postponing their industry day, but they've had industry days in the past, right? So we need to figure out how we can make content that shows that we could do translation services for NOAA. So we need to figure out how they buy translation services. But look, they had a small business industry day in April. That was the last one, and they postponed the next one. But again, there's people here as I'm looking up. My connections that are following Noah. So I guarantee you somebody that I know is connected to someone at Noah, and I could probably get some inside information about Noah from one of these people. But also I can make content to talk about Noah. And now you're like, I don't know. I don't even know what language they speak, but I would write like an article. If I were you, I probably would even write an article in the language that they want translated to Noah. So then that would separate you from everyone else. I listened to a podcast this morning, and most people don't know this, but Steve Jobs studied the founder of Kodak. And so the founder of Kodak was the guy who had the third most patents in the entire United States. And he said that don't do something that someone else can do. So Gloria, if I were you, I might even write my post in Spanish to Noah. So then that way somebody from Noah who is looking for translation services you're going to be the only person, I guarantee you, you're the only person who's going to have a Spanish post targeting Noah. Guarantee it. None of us could do it. You're going to be the only one. You're going to be the only one. So, and what does that take for you to do? Like nothing. I mean, that literally takes nothing to do. I mean, technically I could do it because I just throw it in ChatGPT, but you're going to write something more meaningful. Yes, Gloria, I want to go on your LinkedIn profile next week and see a Noah post in Spanish. And then when Noah calls you, because you got a post in Spanish talking about translating some meteorological report, I want you to remember me. You see there's everyone watching what we just did. I hope everyone's watching this. Again, these are strategies for people, like I said, less money, more time. That's why we say an underdog. I was an underdog. I had a lot of time and not so much money. Everything that I'm telling everybody here, any one of you can do it. It costs you nothing. Anyone could do it. In fact, everyone should do it. And if you don't do it, then I'm going to question the seriousness, your commitment, your dedication to this marketplace, and if how hungry you really are. I'm going to question everybody on here. I'm going to say, you know what? Don't try to set up a call with me. Don't DM me about, Eric, we need to talk. You didn't even do the stuff that I gave you for free on the call. This costs nobody nothing except your time. You didn't even do the stuff that I'm giving you right now for free. I showed you how to get the information for the people. Now we know that. And now we're going to tie our stuff to them so that when they come back to office and they're looking for people, because we went to their website and it just told you that the people say they like women-owned businesses. And we know that they work with people because guess what? Maria, who used to work for me, she worked with Noah before. She got one of her first contracts with Noah. They are very small business friendly. Very small, but just like the Coast Guard. I'm proud of you, JoJo. The Coast Guard is super small business friendly. By the way, we mention these places all the time on different channels. Coast Guard is very small business friendly. Did anybody see where we created? In fact, I'll pull it up. We made a video of some of the agencies that are small business friendly. Many of you didn't watch it. I know Tavin watched it. I know Yvette watched it. We went over some of the agencies that are small business friendly. We went over that because guess what? I know what it's like to try to break in. And so I understand that. I'm going to pull it back up right now. I'm going to drop the link because I already know. I know how it goes. You guys didn't do your homework. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spoon feed it to you because that's what it takes sometimes. But I love you, so that's okay. I am not going to complain that, sometimes you want it spoon fed. No problem. I'm gonna do it for you. I got you. Let me pull this up, because again, right here, I'm gonna drop this video in the chat. I know you're gonna see it. Okay. Here, this video right here. Okay. In this video, I talk about 9 easiest agencies to work with. I go over the agencies, right? How I assess them, whether or not the procurement's complex, whether they do a lot of engagement, outreach events, and do they have a consistent record of spending with small businesses. All right. I'm going to drop that in the chat. Go back and watch this later when you get a chance. Matter of fact, I'm going to put this on my list of resources for today's video. I'm going to go back in and plug that in after the fact. All right. I'm going to plug it in after the fact. So, all right. So I just gave Gloria a roadmap in like 10 minutes. I gave Gloria a roadmap in 10 minutes. So this is what we want to do for everybody here, right? This is what we want to do for everybody. Again, this is how it goes. The opportunities are not going to fall in your lap. You have to do something, anything. I actually, we list a lot of different things in here to do. You gotta do something. You cannot, honestly, if we're talking about, obviously starting off, you can bid, but we start talking about actually growing a business, building a business, and like to where you can hire employees, you're going to have to do some activities. So what do those activities look like? We talk about it all the time. So, we're going to talk about it in our upcoming boot camp, November 7th. We're going to talk about it in our mastermind. We're going to talk about it here on the channel for those of you who want to stay into the channel. Yeah, Jojo, I can't wait for you to get your WSB as well. But I will say this, a lot of people get their WSB and they still, only about 2% of people actually get contracts because they don't know how to get contracts. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to talk to government people. One of the things that we train people on is how do you talk to government officials? If you're not in the military like myself, I wasn't in the military. I think it was JJ. You said you were in construction. So you were in the military, but I'll give you an example, JJ. So this is something that just, again, I'll pull it from the book. So one of the things that I've learned personally, and again, we're saying, how do you get the government to call you back, right? How do you get the government to actually call you back? Okay. So I'm going to show you guys this real quick. So here, we talk about different people that you need to meet. Okay. And how do you get the government to call you back? My thing's not. Okay. So now I'm showing you guys this. All right. So one of the things that I've learned, and for anybody who's in the military, you guys understand this. For us non-military people that are getting into the space, we don't understand some of the government titles. They're very confusing. So let's say, okay, we know who we're supposed to be reaching out to in terms of the office, but we don't necessarily know what people's titles are, their job roles are, and what that means. You follow me? Perfect example. When you're doing, and again, I'm in construction. I think some people are in construction. When you're in construction and you're talking to like the Navy and the Marines, they have a title called PWD. And then they have FIADS. And then they have ROICCS. And it sounds like gibberish, but you have to know which each title means so you know the person that you're talking to, their responsibility, and how it connects you to contract opportunities. Following me? Everybody's following me? Following? By the way, if you're just joining us, again, we're on day 20 of the shutdown. What are the activities that we're supposed to be doing? Who's winning? Who's losing in this whole matter? I'll just kind of recap for those of you who just joined us, who just start tuning in, so I can kind of catch up to speed. So obviously, we're in the second longest shutdown now. The Senate failed to pass a bill for the 11th time. Cool. They passed the big, beautiful bill, but now they need the funding to fund the bill. And that's where Congress and they're all fighting. And then the House is not even in office now. So we don't know when this thing is going to end. But I can tell you it's starting to really take effect and impact a lot of people here in DC. And people are actually starting to get worried. Last week, I didn't say that. People kind of were chilling. But like a lot of things in life, the rich people are very happy. They're content. They're not complaining. I was at a private event last night in a members only cigar bar. Those people are comfy, cool. They've got table services. We're chilling on a Tuesday. The other people who need jobs that their office is being affected, they're like struggling. And then obviously we have the people that are on social services. But here we're talking about businesses and contracts, so that doesn't do anything for us. Who's winning in this matter? People who actually currently have certifications and they're doing work with Department of Defense or Department of War. Those people are winning big because the government is still spending, DOD or DOW is still spending through a continuing resolution. So those contracts are still letting. In fact, I got a call for sole source today. And so if you have existing relationships and you're certified, boom, 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 you're hitting it. OEMs, meaning manufacturers that have BD and staffs and teams, they're winning because when Doge came in, they want to stop buying new and start rehabbing and fixing this stuff up. They're winning. And then companies that are supporting large primes who are awarded Department of War, Department of Defense contracts, they're still winning. Who's losing? Everybody else. I shared a couple of resources of events coming up that I will drop back in the chat for everybody. If you're interested, the Virgin Islands, someone just came back from there today, said they're begging contractors, they're begging people. They've got a bunch of money to spend and they're looking for folks to do it. Here's the event that's coming up. And so anybody can sign up for this particular event if that floats your boat. There's an event tomorrow that I'm going to be at. Where is it? It's called the Federal Innovation Summit. You can sign up virtually. Again, I know some of the people that are going to be speaking at this event. And so again, federal leaders, industry experts talking about building, mission ready workforce. So, again, just things that you can do from home, right? That are, like you can start making progress and not sit back and just say, I'm going to wait until, something happens, right? There's no benefit in waiting this thing out. You better be doing something because when stuff picks back up, it's going to go fast and furious. All right. So that's just kind of catching everybody up to speed on that. The events going on. I got a couple more events that are coming up as well. There's one, but a lot of these are local events here as well. So they're local. And then again, we do have a live mastermind that starts November the 15th and 16th. We're doing it live in DC. We're trying to figure out exactly where. I'm not sure if it's Tyson's Corner. We're still looking for a venue. And then we are doing a 6-week boot camp, which starts on November the 7th. So again, that's kind of bringing everybody up to speed who just joined us right now where we're at. And then if you missed the exercise that we did, for those folks who just came on, who do not know their federal buyer, who they are, where they're at, what they do, how to contact them, I just shared a resource that I dropped in the chat. For those of you who missed it, I'll drop the link again. And this link, essentially, we just walked through an exercise with somebody on here that it returns federal agencies that are most likely to contract with a business like yours. So it's a great resource that I have that I dropped because I know that this is the first thing that people need to know if they're going to talk about growing in the business. You can get lucky and win a couple contracts, but if you want to actually build a strategy around, right, growing in this arena and not just flip, $10 products, you're going to need more of a strategic approach, right? I love people with certifications. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of them don't have training. And so they don't know how to maximize the opportunities, but they exist. They're in droves. And how many people saw how I compare NBA, NFL, sports teams to government contract? Did anybody see that? Anybody see that? So if you didn't see that video, literally, I compare the government contract spending to NBA, NFL sports teams. Tavin, you always on it. Okay. If you missed that. So I'm saying this, that we literally can, the St. Croix information. Sure. I'll drop that back in the chat for those of you who missed it. All right. So, all right, let's get you that information. No, it's not 800 trillion, Preston. 800 billion, not trillion. One day it might be trillion, but today it's only billion. Okay, that's the VA event, and then Fed Summit virtual event for tomorrow is here. All right, so now everybody's up to speed. I just want to kind of bring the new people up to speed on the exercise. So again, we were talking about getting the government people to come to you. And so one of the things that someone mentioned to me last night was he literally took the same strategy that we have been doing for a long time here. And so Tavin, let's talk about, because I like you, Tavin, let's talk about taking your strategy to the next level, right? So this guy took the same strategy that I'm doing now, right? And he started creating content, and he went and started creating events. And it's interesting, his competitors started sponsoring the events that they created because they were looking for ways to connect with the government decision makers. Ultimately, he says within 3 years, their company ended up selling to private equity for $500 million. I'm having lunch with that guy on Friday. I'm having lunch with the guy on Friday. I just met with a couple that when I got here a few weeks ago that have $1 billion organization. This is the difference, right? Is instead of you like begging people, right? You are creating the demand. You're creating the opportunity for them to reach out to you. You're giving actually, maybe we should think of it like giving them a safe space to reach out to you. Maybe that might be a better way to swallow it, right? Is that by you putting out information into the world, that gives people, that's you raising your hand saying, hey, feel free to contact me. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm open for business. Maybe that's one way that we can reframe a lot of your brains to look at it instead of social media saying, hey, you're just basically raising your hand and saying, like, hey, I'm out here and I'm open for conversation to talk about solving your needs. Maybe that's the way that we should reframe it to get some of you to buy into what I'm saying. Because clearly, talking about the money side is not big enough for you. Maybe we can say, if you don't do it, your competitors are doing it. And so you could be losing out on opportunities because you are not doing something that other people are doing. That's another way to look at it. But again, if you have more time than money, these exercises are simple. Simple. In fact, Gloria, you still here? Did we do any? We did JJ. JJ said he got stuff on the wraps. This stuff is like really a piece of cake. I've been doing stuff on chat for a long time, and I'm telling you, this stuff is so easy. All right. So if you missed it, we pulled up the SBA website and we returned some of the agencies. Okay. And so, NOAA came up. So we got NOAA on here, right? So we got NOAA. Cool. All right. So let's do this. All right. Let's go over. We're going to do this live because this is fun for me. All right, so let's take, I don't have any information on Gloria, which is fine. I'm going to say, I'm going to take all this information from NOAA. I'm going to dump it in chat. Okay. I'm going to take, let's see, where's your code at? Okay. So I'm going to take Gloria's code. Okay. I'm going to take that. I'm going to give that to chat. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to do this right because, that's what we do. So I'm going to say, hey, I want to build a LinkedIn campaign for my woman small business to attract this federal agency to engage with my content. I have put my industry below and the information about the agency to help you better understand. Give me 5 tactics that I can put to work immediately using LinkedIn. All right. All right, Gloria. So, short stories, many case studies. Have you done many case studies yet? Have you done a short story yet? Sign language interpreters during severe weather broadcasts. Translating climate change education for diverse communities. Okay. All right. Fixing your about section, your headlines. Okay. Yes. Give me a 7-day posting plan. All right. Connect your company's purpose to NOAA's mission, science, service, and stewardship. Language access driven clients. When NOAA shares vital weather alerts and marine forecast language across saves lives. As a woman-owned business, we help federal agencies like NOAA ensure their science and safety messages reach every community clearly, accurately, inclusively. Show a map of the U.S. with multilingual weather alerts, English, Spanish, ASL. Day 2, demonstrate your. I mean, are y'all picking up what I'm putting out? Are you picking up what we're putting out? I'm showing everyone. I'm using her as an example. Anyone could do this. Everyone could do this. There's no reason why we should be making excuses and not putting ourselves in a better opportunity to get these people to look at us. Only 1% of people use LinkedIn. 1% of people, only 1% of people post on LinkedIn. 1% post consistently. 1%. You can beat 99% of people and it costs you no money. You can beat 99% of people and it costs you no money. Most people, I'm going to tell you what they do. You see their LinkedIn. They post about their dog. They post about the cat. They post about, they're treating it like Facebook. They're not being strategic. Stop treating LinkedIn like it's another profile and not like it's an actual business source of leads. It's a source of leads and deal flow, people. I mean, it's a crazy source of leads. It's a crazy source of deal flow. It's a crazy source of partner flow, teaming partners, prime contract opportunities. Like, people go on here to do business with people. I'm telling you, Like, but you're not even using it. Like, I'm telling you, people literally on here, like they literally are every day. People are messaging me and are like, hey, like I got an email message in here. I'm not even going to share it, but it's like, we provide spare parts to the military, OEM, and we're trying to go into different branches. Like, people literally are DMing me this stuff. People have called me, right, and given me lists of parts that they had available that they didn't want any money for, that they're looking for someone like me that could utilize all of these spare parts and components that they had sitting in the warehouse rather than throw them away. So even the people who say you're doing middleman, if you do middleman, right, with intention, like in a certain sector, right? Because I mean, look, when you're reselling airplane parts, that's middleman, but not just middleman anything that comes up. That's not strategic. But if you were to middleman a certain industries, let's say maybe medical supplies or maybe healthcare gowns, I don't know. Now you could also be more strategic and get partners and alliances with industry leaders and also prime contractors who need those things. You still can be strategic even as a middleman. Anyone can do this. Everyone can do this. Okay, who can't do this? If you can't do this, I want you to put in the chat that you can't do this. Just put a thumbs down. If you cannot do this, if you can do this, put a rocket ship. I want rocket ships. If you can do this, put a rocket ship in the chat. If you can't do it, just put a thumbs down. Eric, I can't do it. I don't have the capacity. I don't have the capability. If you can't do it, it's cool. My man Astro in the building. If you can't do it, this is, I'm telling you, this is by far the biggest hack that I could give any of you today. By far. I'm 3 times this week this has happened. I know someone that did this technique and there's a lot of you out here who've been listening to me that said you're interested in buying businesses. Okay. You said, hey, I'd like to buy a business. How do I start buying businesses? I know someone that did this exact same technique, and by sharing what they do on LinkedIn and their industry publicly, consistently, they had owners of companies reach out to them to sell them their business because the baby boomers are on LinkedIn. So I know people who've gotten partners reaching out to them, people wanting to sell them their business. In fact, I know a lady who raised money for an investment in a new app that she created from LinkedIn. At this point, I've almost heard of every scenario that everybody on here says that they want to happen to them, seeing it happen and manifest through creating content on LinkedIn. And this is not even a LinkedIn call. This is me on my soapbox, just, being messy. I know of someone that got offered to buy people's businesses through LinkedIn. I know people raise investment capital through LinkedIn. I know people got teaming partners through LinkedIn. I know people who've got, and still we don't do it. What is it going to take? What's it going to take? And by the way, if you're like, Eric, I know I'm supposed to do this. I don't have time to do this. If you have more money than time, I'm going to put on the bottom our banner. Here's my number. Call me. We'll do it for you. Send us an email. If you're like, hey, Eric, I know I'm supposed to do all this stuff. You ain't telling me nothing new. Eric, I know I don't have time. Eric, I'm working in the business. I'm the guy, I'm the chef, the bottle cooker, I'm the pressure washer. I do it all. Call us. We will do it for you. I will give you my people. Okay? I will bring my people to the table. No problem. In fact, next week, we are going to do a LinkedIn class. Next week. So next week, stay tuned because we're going to do a LinkedIn class. Kendall says, I'm going to share Kendall's thing. Kendall says, I built my entire board of directors and in-house M&A team through LinkedIn. How much more information, evidence do you guys need to see? Kendall, I don't know Kendall. He says, but one of the things, the strategies that I tell everybody is you need to have a board of advisors. LinkedIn is a magnet. It's like Tavin said, LinkedIn is literally a magnet. You attract the people you want. So rather than you guys saying, nobody's here and I can't get any bidding contracts, nobody's calling me, you create your own opportunities yourself. And by the way, when I'm saying I can help you, so this is my profile. I'm a top 1% ranking in the world on LinkedIn. Top 1%. So this is my profile. This is my ranking. I've now achieved top 1% in LinkedIn. So we got room. We can help. Because, my whole purpose of this is to create a strategy to help everybody do what? Scale using your certifications. That's it. So I understand the value of this and the importance of it. And that's why I'm like drilling home, because I don't want people to make an excuse. Like I said, you got one or two things. You got time or money. And we got answers for both. But I built my brand through LinkedIn. I mean, I started on YouTube, but to be honest with you, the majority of the people that are, and I'm so sad that I'm not on LinkedIn right now because because I had a fire alarm go off earlier today, so I can't tie it into LinkedIn. Otherwise, I'd be having this on LinkedIn. But I mean, literally, all the big players, the deal maker people, they came through LinkedIn. The people that I want to introduce you guys to on the live mastermind, November 15th and 16th, came through LinkedIn. Right? The people I'm going to bring in on the boot camps, anybody who's anybody who's in our GovCon network, right? Anybody who's been on Federal Help Center, any of my previous boot camps or trainings, have you not met people that are doing 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, $50 million? Yes or no? If you're in any of my trainings, you've been in any of our previous boot camps, have you not met successful business owners that are across every industry doing 10 million, 20 million, 40 million, $50 million? Jerome, yes. Tavin, Alan, Yvette. Come on, man. The people trust me. I got a guy text me today, and I have built the trust of this community. I'm turning this trust over to you, but I need you to know what to do with it, how to leverage it, what to ask for, what to say, so you don't sound silly and trip over yourself. And then people literally, they don't want to work with you because you just don't even know what you're talking about. Okay. So I continue to bring these people to you. People continue to message me, invite me to events, invite me to stuff, because this is what we do. Anybody ever wonder, how did I get, that's me, by the way, on stage. How did I get, right? And this is what they talk about, 500 people to come to Miami. 26 federal agencies, 52 people from government, several multi-billion-dollar companies, several Fortune 100 companies. How did I get all those people to come to Miami? Trust. What do they teach you about business? You work with people you know, like, and trust. How do you build trust? spending time with people. How do you spend time with people? The best way now is through social media. By the way, I'm spending time with all of you right now. I'm spending time with you right now. You agree? Disagree? Are we not spending time together? We're spending time together right now. That's why when I see you, we connect because you've spent time with me. You've watched content. You've heard me talk. And so we connect. So I'm spending time with you guys right now. So now what I want you to do is I want you to have your customers spend time with you on the platforms that they're on so that you can build the know, like, and trust relationships so they can start calling you. And then now you're going to start getting the same kind of inbound calls that we get for how to do business with your service or how to engage you. Or at the very least, if you submit a proposal, a bid, an opportunity, the first time they don't hear about you is when they get your proposal on their desk. Make sense? We don't want the first time the government hears about you is when you slide a proposal across their desk. Anybody think that if they heard about me before the proposal came in, that would give me better chances of winning? Anybody think that? Anybody think that if the government heard my name, my company before the proposal came in the door, that have increased my chances, my probability for winning? Does anybody else agree with that theory? Anybody? Or is that just me, just wild ideas? So again, how are we going to beat out some of the bigger companies? How are we going to beat out some of the established brands? We have to do different things. Only 1% of people are on LinkedIn posting consistently. Well, that means we can beat them because they're not doing this stuff. So yes, they may be already in the industry. They may already be winning. The best thing that happened to the people who are not currently winning contracts, the best thing that happened to people who are not currently winning contracts is the president of the United States. Because he disrupted this whole environment. He disrupted the marketplace. And he literally, by turning everything on its heels, gave new people a shot that they didn't have before. Him endorsing social media to come to the White House, to get press passes, just paved the way for all of us to utilize it as a gateway to make connections with government people. It is no longer considered bad or not defiant, but it's no longer considered like a negative to connect with people using social media. He changed the way agencies perceive social media. Has anybody noticed that now I'm getting more federal agencies coming on my podcast? That did not happen before this administration. The people did not come on. They don't want to come. They did not feel comfortable coming on the podcast because it was frowned upon. They felt like they had to get legal approval. Today, we're getting more people from government agencies coming onto the podcast because the president opened up, he set the precedent. And so now every time I go somewhere, I can't go anywhere where somebody's wanting to be on this. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm actually turning down people now from the podcast because I'm like, I want to expand beyond government contracting and talk about entrepreneurship because I want to expand the brand. And also I want to bring in different type of speakers and I want to showcase different types of a diverse group of entrepreneurs. So, but I'm saying this for all of you out here to look at it differently, that the president sets the tone for how people perceive things. And when he said that this was acceptable, then people were like, okay, cool. It's acceptable. And I mean, that's basically, you know, that's how it goes. But do you think that if you had 12,000 connections, now that's obviously that's a lot on my side. Um, but do you think that some kind of way that if you had 12,000 connections, look at this, Lockheed Martin Airborne Missile System, retired Army veteran, I can text Alan and connect with him to do work. I just met Bill last night at this event. Gov IT Works for IT Connector and Strategist. Him and I were together last night. Okay. Again, Eugene Hunter, driving IT service to excellence. I was with Sonny last night. I was with Xavier last night. I was with Dante last night. I was with Adam last night. I was with Nilu last night. This is the company that does 75 million. Don't you think, can you see how that creates separation? Like, let's just take right here. We're gonna take Nilu, Riva Solutions Inc. Let's just pull them up. Riva Solutions. Okay. Modernizing government. Now, again, they're a mid-sized company, between 50 to 100 million, right? I guarantee you, if there's anybody on this call that's in the IT space, you probably would like to subcontract from them, but you don't know them. And so you can't even get to them. So again, leveraging what you have, right? Using your so-called weakness as a strength. You like Gloria said, she doesn't have a LinkedIn profile. Okay, let me just start there. Who actually does not even have a LinkedIn profile? Or you know what? I'm going to start backwards. Nah, we'll save it for. Okay. Anybody on? I'm trying to figure. I want some honest people. How many people have ever posted anything about their business on LinkedIn? I just want to see a show of hands if you've ever made a post about your business on LinkedIn, not your personal life, but your business. No, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here. You know what? Remember this, Gloria. They said that people that are further along than you are will never judge you. We will never judge you because we're here to help you win. So we would never judge you. Okay. We got some people made posts. I know Tavin. Tavin always checks the boxes. Jerome checks the boxes. Okay. Okay. So you made posts about your business. Cool. Right. Okay. Now, have you made posts about your business related to the agency that you're trying to target? Have you made posts about your industry, about your business as it relates to an agency that you are trying to target? That's a different question. Okay. Has it been agency specific? Has your post targeted a certain agency or an office that you want to work with? Kendall says, I haven't, but now I want to. Kendall, you're going to do well. I already know it. She says, none outside of creating, however I make connections. You're welcome, JoJo. I think that we're missing the point. Making connections. Everyone makes connections. How strong are the connections? How strong is the bond, right? I'm talking about you being the authority, you building trust so that they want to connect with you, not you connecting with them. This is the big distinguisher that I keep trying to say. Okay, you guys are connecting to them. Are they trying to connect to you? That is the difference, is what I'm saying. Okay, I am trying to get them to now come to you strategically. That's the difference. That's what I want you guys to leave with. I am trying to get them to come to you to talk to you about how you guys can work together. It's very similar to the strategy that we discuss when we're filling out RFIs, we're doing market research. You're expanding it now and you're being more intentional with it and what you're doing. You're not just saying, hey, I do again, Gloria, I do translation services. You are now writing and saying, hey, Noah, right? You're basically saying, how can federal agencies make science and environmental information more accessible to diverse audiences? Do a poll, multilingual content, sign language interpretation, simplified science community partnerships. As a woman-owned firm, we'd love to hear how accessibility shapes your agency's outreach. Right, Tavin. Now, Tavin, you have to switch it to agency mode. So, Tavin, now that you have your clients, let's switch you to agency mode and then, beast mode that. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. Getting them to see you, to hear you, and know that you exist. So now, how many people think if Gloria does what we just showed her to do, that when she submits a proposal for NOAA, somebody from NOAA who doesn't know, by the way, the technical knowledge, they don't know any of the specifics, how many people, and let me go back to this screen over here. Okay. So NOAA on her list. So first of all, Gloria, okay, you're doing translation services for NOAA, right? We're going to stick with Gloria. Follow me, stick with me. Hang on a little bit with me more, guys. By the way, stick with me through this. Gloria, you still here? See what happens when you guys volunteer? This is what happens when you volunteer. Okay, now follow me this. So we used this particular GovCon match. We found NOAA. We're going to make content, translation services on NOAA, right? When they have a bid that comes out for NOAA, first of all, a lot of times on the bids and the proposals, the review teams are not necessarily people that work at NOAA. So they may outsource the bid team to someone who knows nothing about your technical services. So they look at, can you guys see this? How many bids per contract on average? So on the 5th percentile is 1. On the average, it's 3. And then a 95th percentile is 10. Even if we say 3 or 10, how many people do you think will have made content related to NOAA on their profile out of the 3 or the 10 people that submit? How many people will have done the strategy that Gloria just did? Anybody want to take a guess? What do y'all think? Anyone? Do you think any other companies would have done that? Do you think any company that's on that list would have done that? Anyone? You get me? 0. No one is doing this. If only 1% of people even freaking post, they sure ain't making content specific to NOAA. So if the reviewers go online and they see Gloria's profile they say, wow, this young lady, she's writing translation stuff for our content on LinkedIn. Hey, Jane, did you see this? I don't know who she is. I see her company name and it matches, and I see her stuff. We're going to rank her higher than other people. She understands our agency. She understands our needs. She knows the challenge that we have with trying to get people to translate the weather service reports. Separation, folks. Separation. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is why I was able to start everything from zero and beat people, because people don't want to do this kind of stuff. They stay afraid. You look, I ain't got no money. You ain't got, what you got to lose? You got nothing to lose. You have nothing now. So nothing with nothing is nothing. Like you can't lose. They can't take away you don't have nothing to lose. This is separation. I'm telling you the separation. If everybody watching this, the 500 people that watch this, do this, you still won't move the needle on LinkedIn. It won't be 1.1%. It's still 1% because there's 800 million people on there. So we still won't move the needle. I'm serious. Next week, when I bring my girl on, who's a LinkedIn strategist, who's in the top 50 regularly on LinkedIn, I'm going to bring her on next week to share with you, talk to you guys about this. I want to be proud of some of you who watched this video today to be able to show me what you did. I want you guys to be proud and to say, Eric, look what I did. I took your advice. I did this. And I essentially, and again, we're not saying that it's going to manifest into a contract tomorrow. The government shut down. We're talking about things that we could be doing while the government shut down, right? We mentioned, again, we're going to be doing some trainings coming up. We're going to be going through another boot camp. We're going to be going through and helping you build out all the other pieces that you need, right? All the other strategies that you need in order to be successful. So we're going to be doing all of that through the holidays, through, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So the boot camp starts at 7. So we'll be doing all of that through the holidays. But when the government reopens, Gloria should, if we were generous and she did 2 posts a week, in the next month, she would have 8 posts. In the next 2 months, she'll have 16 posts. She will probably have more posts tied to NOAA on translation services than anyone on LinkedIn. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I'm willing to bet 16 posts, NOAA translation services, Glory will be number 1 on LinkedIn tied to NOAA. No one will, because no one else is going to do any of them. 16 posts. So let's talk about all of you guys watching today. How many of you can make 16 posts? 16 posts, 5 plus 1. How many people can make 16 posts? Give me a heart in the chat. If you can make 16, if you can make 16 posts, give me a heart. A heart in the chat. If you can make 16 posts, give me a heart, please. 16. Donald typed in 16. No problem. I'll take it. 16 posts. Posts tied to your industry, to the specific agency. Not just posts about your cat, your dog, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your date and relationship status. We're talking about posts that are tied to connect you to the agency that is on your list here based on the research that we've done. Okay. Specifically, not just arbitrary posts that lead to nowhere land, specifically targeting ideal customer persona of the group that you want to call you and reach out to you that are the same ones that you're submitting bids to. Miss Parker, the same folks you're submitting bids to, you're talking to them subliminally on these other platforms. So you're not submitting blind bids anymore. I don't want people submitting more blind bids. I don't want that. That doesn't count for me. Okay. So for the rest of you who can't make 16 posts, what are you going to do? Suffer? The rest of you guys who can't make 16 posts, just going to complain about the marketplace, complain about how it's not fair, complain about why you're not getting win opportunities, complain about low bid situations, complain about why nobody calls you for sole source, complain about how your certification is collecting dust. You just go complain about, the government contract that doesn't work for small businesses. Is that what you're going to do? Is that what the rest of you guys going to do? I mean, for those of you guys who can't make 16 posts, I asked for 16 industry-related posts tied to your customer profile that you want like them to read your bids. So, which is fine. You could complain. Just don't complain to me, because I'm out here putting my time, my money, my energy. I meet a lot of people. I can't do nothing with all these people. I could give it to you guys, though. I could benefit you. In fact, I saw on Gloria's list, or somebody, maybe it was JJ's list, Department of State. Oh, that was probably JJ. On your previous list, you had Department of State. JJ, the veteran. He says he only bids DOD and VA hospital contracts. But again, JJ could do the same strategy. As a service-disabled veteran targeting the VA administration, I would make content on how my products and services could help the veterans, be, better, faster, whatever you do, Again, Jackie says certainly can find someone to teach me. No, look, we're teaching all of this stuff coming up November 7th. So we're teaching you guys this. I'm just over here giving you a preview, showing you how easy it is. I really do want to show how easy it is. I mean, it's stuff is not hard. It's only hard to do it because you don't do it. But it's not physically hard to do. It's hard because you won't do it. Like I said, what's easy about it is that you can do it. What's hard is that to do it. So now that you know, right, you still have to go and do it, right? So like, I can't do your push-ups. I told you, hey, if you guys do push-ups, then like I listened to a podcast today. It says, we do not lack information. We lack execution of the information that we're given. So it's not that you lack information. And that's why I said, for people who have more money than time, if you want to give it to us, we will gladly do it. You don't have to worry about it. We'll do it for you. We'll do that. We'll build you out your pipeline. We'll tell you exactly who you should be talking to, where, who, what, when, where they're going to be at, where they take a poop at, where, look, are they riffed? Are they not riffed? Go meet with them. And I have people that know how to get to those folks. Everyone. And now that I'm here, I'm telling you, my vision has become twice as big as it was before. If you think I had a big head before, you should see me try to get through the door now with this head. It's humongous. These people done pumped me up so much, so hard, so fast in such a short period of time. I'm starting to believe I'm invincible. And I believe you too can be invincible, because I'm seeing what they're not doing. And I'm seeing how they're envious of me, the new guy who just showed up here a few weeks ago, and I walk into and I command the rooms coming from Florida. And I'm like, this ain't even hard. Like this is not even me trying. Imagine if I tried. So Again, underdogs, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. I'm getting more cocky by the day. I'm telling you now. I'm getting more cocky by the day. All right. We've been on this kick for a minute here. I gave you the first step of a multi-layered playbook today. Okay. I gave you the first step of a multi-layered playbook. You got the information. So at this point, everybody who watched this today, who tuned in, should know essentially, right? You should be able to figure out who you should be targeting now. This information did not exist before. It did not exist before. So now you know who you should be targeting. So there's really no excuse at this point, because, I mean, you have a very easy way. Did anybody miss that, what I shared earlier, the website? Anybody miss that? Anybody have any questions about the mastermind that starts or the boot camps that's coming up? Anybody have any questions about that? Mastermind, boot camp, or anything that we discussed today before I close out? Okay. Anybody have any questions about any of the things that we talked about? The links, all the resources. I gave you guys the videos. I gave you 2 events, Virgin Islands and the virtual event for tomorrow. I told you what videos to watch, and I gave you the website to, like, at least look. At least you left here today a little bit smarter than you were a few hours ago. And so at least you can make some steps progressively forward, right, in this journey. So I'm happy about that because, we gotta come up together. I'm telling you, it's much more fun when we do this together. I promise you, being on a yacht alone is very, very, very boring. It's very boring being on a yacht alone. Being on a yacht with friends and family, Yvette, Juliet, all of you guys, when we took the boat out the first summit, isn't it much more exciting when we're on there with a group of us that we know each other from inside Federal Help Center, it's just much more exciting when we all can do it together. So I'm telling you, people are still, even up here, are talking about the Miami event. And they're like, wait, Eric, since you're in Virginia, are you not having the Miami event anymore? So I'm telling you that people here want us to bring Miami event back because they want a place to go to essentially do what we did, show them how to have a good time. So I told them no problem. But yeah, so let's recap on the boot camp. Boot camp kicks off. I thought he had a page on it. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Boom. Okay. All right, there it is. So boot camp starts November the 7th, 6-week boot camp. Essentially how to turn your certifications and focus to a development engine. So yes, you can, someone asked the question, no, you don't have to have the business take the boot camp because again, we're going to be discussing a lot of the strategies, the stuff that I showed you in here, like the website that I showed you, things like that. So again, helping you prepare for when this thing is over with, you're up and running. Like there's no sense of waiting until you're certified to learn this stuff. Learn it now so that you can start taking advantage of these things. So again, a lot of these strategies you can do today, even before you have your stuff in place. And that way you're ready. The majority of people problem is they wait until they have their certs. They wait till they have this. And you know what happens? They don't come out gunning. They're not coming out ready. I am going through the certification process myself, and I've got a meeting tomorrow with a joint venture partner that says that we can't sign it now because of the thing, but they want to do the joint venture with me so that when my certification hits, the next day we can get a sole source contract. Like he doesn't even want it to be a week gap between when I'm certified and when I get a sole source contract. So they are literally wanting us to put everything in place today so that when these things come, I have 2 sole source contracts that people want to give me today. I'm waiting for my certification. Is there anybody on this call that would like to be in that position? Anybody on the call that would like to have contracts waiting for them before their certifications hit? Anybody else would like to have that? Anybody else would like to have contracts waiting for them before you hit your certification? I know JoJo, she doesn't have her certs yet, right? Charles, you was in it with me. Be quiet, Charles. You on my board. Absolutely, right. So that's what we're talking about. In fact, JJ, we just helped one of our guys recently, another veteran. He just got awarded a contract. Hold on. See if I can pull my man up. We just helped a veteran secure his first contract last week. Where was it at? Literally just happened last week. So where was it at? I can't find it right now. But yeah, so we just did that. Someone literally last week, and so we're, hey, we're excited to continue to help other veterans, help other businesses, help the underdogs. And, I actually like this better because I guess people start to feel like I was getting out of touch. And I like this because now I can help come up with some ideas that, like I said, we can do at little to no cost. So my brain is turning back that way because really it looks like a lot of people need that. They need some ideas of things that they can do that are essentially, tight on a budget. I get it. I know that's like. So I understand that. So that's why we want to kind of talk more towards what are some things that you could do with limited budgets, right? And also, but maximum effectiveness, maximum impact, maximum potentials, right? So, we want you to be able to take some big swings. All right. Hey, listen, thank you guys. I hope everyone enjoyed the session. Like I said, we're going to do some more streams coming up over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to do a specific one just on LinkedIn coming up. You'll see that. That will be coming down the pipeline. I think we're going to do that Monday. But yeah, just stay tuned. I'm going to keep doing this kind of stuff. In fact, hold on one second. I know I keep telling you I'm going to leave, right? And then I keep giving you more stuff. Where is it at? Where's my LinkedIn stream? Okay, here. So LinkedIn, I'm bringing my girl on. Okay, this is the, okay, it's the wrong sharing thing. Give me a second. So coming up, just kind of give you guys a heads up. So we're going to do, this is coming up next. Why didn't it show it? Okay. All right. Fix my LinkedIn. So we're going to do a live profile audit right, for GovCon and Underdog Entrepreneurs. So we're going to do that live, I think, Sunday. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do Fix My LinkedIn, live profile audits. And then we're going to do Your LinkedIn Sucks. Here's how to fix it for contracts and capital. And then we'll keep going from there. So listen, thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night. All right. Be good. Peace.